Okay. Alright, sorry. Yeah, I just wanted to track the scenes with her. And see, and kind of just see, like, her earliest, moments, and then the point at which she goes from behaving like a child into having awareness. And then when, Mira runs into her the first time and she's like, I am your sister, yes, but also, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, what the f***? Yeah, okay. Alright.
Wow.
Interesting.
Aegis activation confirmed. The terminal is completely sealed off.
We did it.
They've changed targets. The next terminal is just over there.
They're already on the move.
Can't even let us catch our breath, huh?
I haven't hit my operating limit yet, but I'm going to dismount.
Whoa, hey, then who's taking point?
Pull it together. We don't need orders to kick some ass.
There we go.
Welcome to the show.
Hers is hidden inside of Gouto's story.
Fuck yeah.
You can relax, kids. I'm back in the fight.
I won't be long. It's up to you.
Fine then. Let's roll, Yuki-chan.
Chihiro-san.
Yeah, she's walking around with them in the final battle.
Yeah.
Totally. NPCs still exist.
Look at that sunset. Just like it was back then. It's beautiful. I'm guessing you were monitoring me with a drone?
I have one locked on to you, yes. Their target's changed. They're coming back this way. It's dangerous here. We need to get you to safety.
Aw, don't tell me you're worried about me. How about you mind your own business? You already know how I feel. This is what I wanted.
Still.
More importantly, can you really afford to waste your time here? Or have you already given up? The invasion is still in its preliminary phase.
I've got time. First, I need to get you somewhere safe.
There are no safe places left. At least, none left for us. We're not safe anywhere. But you know that well enough. You're just losing precious time. Go focus on the job you're supposed to be doing.
Understood. I'll go. You'll find it safer towards the river. If, hypothetically, you wanted to know.
Wait. As long as we're both here, there's something I want to clear up. So, tell me. You were in love with Miss Morimura, weren't you? You said she was mind-hacked. But it was more about you being jealous, wasn't it?
That's hardly...
This may be our last chance to talk. Answer me.
You are correct. Is that what you wanted to hear? That I was driven by some cheap, naive impulse? That I can't think about anything else?
Slightly losing his
That's why
cool
you
there.
brought back my memory too, isn't it? You never cared how you managed to do it. You just wanted her back.
So much.
I'm glad. You really were a slave to your desires. That's the Renya Gouto I remember. It means I don't have to like you after all. Thank you. I think that's all I wanted to hear.
Professor,
You should go. After all, we still have our bet. Although it looks like I'm about to win it. You should go.
But that was a savage rejection. I don't have to love you. My conscience is clear.
And after that conversation, I guess she still fucking killed her. Like, she still killed her. And what does he know? Lacko.
What's wrong? Did you get separated from your mommy?
What a good girl. Calm,
Could you leave me alone?
loving.
It's dangerous out here. Just come with me, okay? Will you just... What are you... Don't worry. If you can't find your mommy, I can help you look. We just have to run away right now, okay? Oh, there you are, Miwako. Asami-chan! I'm so glad you're okay. Jeez, you're so reckless. You shouldn't have come this way.
Kisaragi, that girl is...
I know already. I'll get back to the battle once Miwako's safe. Is someone else here? Of course not. Never mind. The evacuation route's that way. Can I bring her too? Hey! That's fine, just hurry up.
She couldn't even see the communicator.
Not at all. Not at all. Iwako not involved.
That girl is...
Above it all.
Well, he didn't say it, but we know. To be protected above all others.
More lines for Renya.
Gouto secretly has feelings for Morimura after seeing the 2188 communications log between Ida and Gouto. He suspects that Morimura's memories were overwritten by 426. In addition, Morimura's sudden change of behavior raised his suspicions further. Oh. So he was talking to Gouto. That's the jackass.
Okay. The jackass who's in love with Morimura.
Yeah, could be. He acquired her company after all. And merged and did and used her technology. You know, who knows what else is up. But that also implies that log of him sending that log of Ida speaking to Gouto makes it sound as if Gouto was then still alive towards the end.
All right.
That's the only
That's
one.
it.
Nope.
Oh, Yuki. when the kaiju appear in 1985, she declares to the team that they can relax now, that she's taking the field, and activates Sentinel number 21.
Yeah, because her story didn't end with her getting it, so she gets her appearance in the next one. All right, let's go.
42.
I know this is my first time here, but this suddenly makes me feel so
Natsukashi.
nostalgic.
Sunsets will do that, I find, regardless of time period.
Yes, but this must be... Well, I suppose it must be one of those places. So, where am I going?
I've rented an apartment under a false name.
Can't be any worse than our last accommodations. As long as it's not Rebel, I'll take it.
My apologies. If it's any comfort, I'm certain nobody will find you there. Not Shikishima, and certainly not Miss Morimura. I suppose we have Ida-san to thank for all this. The funds and paperwork he prepared were invaluable.
Tetsuya Ida. And he's still missing, is he?
Yes. Let's go. Chihiro-san.
You think I'm the professor?
That is what I said. You are Professor Chihiro Morimura, a major figure in Shikishima in the year 2188. Namely, the leader of its space initiative.
What are you even talking about?
Just some hypotheticals. A possible interpretation of the evidence I found. This refers to the Ever since the battle that ended with the Sentinels infected, Miss Morimura has been pushing this operation as one of its fiercest supporters.
Okay, say I am the professor. Remember, Miss Morimura is the one who created me. You think that was her plan? She wanted a host for the professor and not herself? How would that make sense?
Miss Morimura ran an experiment to grant her clone compatibility. She believed that you were synchronized to her. She believed it was her own data she transmitted. But it was the other Chihiro Morimura in Sector 0. And of course, you entered the world as a newborn, incapable of verbal communication. So Miss Morimura never realized her mistake.
This is all speculation.
Okay.
Certainly, yes. But if I'm right, and you are the professor, I imagine you were in quite a panic yourself. All things considered, it was a staggering deviation from the original plan.
What original plan?
Among the logs from 2188, one of Tetsuya Ida's noted that he'd found an anomaly. Chihiro Morimura was set to undergo a memory transplant in the final phase. And the final phase, well, that would be us.
So Tetsuya Ida found the anomaly, but
One
it was
of
hinted-
Tetsuya Ida's.
One of his notes?
Someone working for him. I think that is phrased as in like
It's not among the logs from 2188.
one of
these logs.
Sorry, you're right. You're
Okay.
right.
So,
Yes,
and
it's not an isolated sentence. Yes.
And previously, they thought that Izumi changed the data.
They did. Morimura was set to undergo a memory transplant in the final phase. So 2188 was absolutely planning to fuck with memory. Yeah. Of the last humans there at that point.
Yeah.
The log from the future I saw first. That would be the comms log I found with my own ID. The first log I checked held some surprises. The author seemed to be an elderly Renya Gouto. And the date of recording appeared to be 2188. I assumed it was some future version of myself. One that had time traveled into the far future. But now, I don't think that's the case. I believe it's the other way around. In other words, I myself am a clone of him.
I don't know where you think you're going with this.
A bit of patience, please. There's a little more context I need to provide.
Please.
Just a bit more.
Please.
Every individual I saw in that log footage, they all created clones of themselves.
Clones? Huh?
I did find a log that proves this point.
What did you see?
A comms log between you and Professor Takamiya. Her field is genetic engineering, I note.
Oh, was everyone thinking the same thing?
Professor Takamiya, how are the projections on those self-replicating probes? The simulations look good. Especially the survey range. We never expected a rate of expansion that high. It was definitely the right call to prioritize its strength as a group over individual units. These probes are pretty much living machines now.
Need a second?
No, I'm good. I'm following. I'm good. I'm good.
They self-replicate using natural resources mined from asteroids in their routing. They'll just keep building up and breaking down. An infinite cycle of self-replication on its way to its target. There's basically zero chance of the tech failing midway through. They'll just keep on going. Probably long after humanity's gone. Glad I came to an expert then. All that's left is the refinement of the memory cube. The infrastructural storage cell, right? The cube's made up of 5 identical memory layers. In theory, it'll compare itself to nearby probes and use them as a template for repairs. And if it can't be repaired, well, fine, 1 probe down. We've got thousands more. And our passengers? I'll be loading them up with the DNA of all the survivors. I've already got samples and data from all 15. Now it's just down to launching them. These clones will go with all our hopes on their shoulders. By the way, what do we do about him? I mean, after that DNA test. We do nothing. He doesn't have to know. What can I even say to him?
Huh?
Not much, I guess.
Bitch, don't you dare fade out.
Okay. So they got the self-replicating probes that can have a great survey range. They can self-update. They're stronger in groups, and they'll keep building even after humanity is gone.
Yes, so if you need to understand how the technology could possibly last millions of years and make its way to its destination, that's literally the explanation. Is it's self-replicating and it's self-repairing, and yeah, it will get to its destination. Basically zero chance of the tech failing midway through. Interesting.
Okay. Then refinement of the memory cube that has 5 identical memory layers, and it'll compare itself to nearby probes and use them as templates for repairs.
Okay.
So is that
Memory
how the
cube.
kaiju are like leveling up after the battles and stuff?
memory cube, we're gonna have to see what that refers to. But it sounds like it's effectively the hard drive that's... Well, hold on. Let's just keep reading here for a second. Yep, okay, there's a memory cube component that'll use nearby probes for repairs. If one probe gets lost, we'll have thousands more. That's fine. And the passengers, the DNA of the survivors, will go on to become the clones. And they will become the future of humanity. Someone...
What do we do about him? I mean, after that DNA test, he doesn't have to know. What could I even say to him?
Not much, I guess. So, someone of the survivors that they have the DNA of has something about it that is that is a secret to the person who is actually
affected by this.
Yeah, someone submitted their DNA, and they found something in it that the person who submitted it doesn't know.
Okay.
That's a pretty good detail on explaining how you cross the stars and manage to keep things going, you know? And I mean, and like if any sort of like the biggest thing you could possibly worry about would be like the effects of like a massive electric storm, like some sort of like EMP type thing that would drain everything. But if they have protections against that and everything's repairing itself consistently, then it means, yeah, you're going to go light years and light years and light years for as long as you need to until you absolutely land where you need to go. So it's fucking magic technology that is not going to fail.
There were 15 survivors of that colony.
15 is the number we were looking for. Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
they said that. Yeah, 15
Yes.
cloning data sets. Yeah.
And then what we wanted to know was, did the shootout take place starting with 15 or starting with 10?
Yeah.
That's what we were trying to figure out.
Each with a clone established to be compatible. That they grew up in different eras, different worlds. And you aimed to replace your clone's memories with your own. That was your real plan. Right now, I imagine your biggest question is precisely how much of that log I've seen. Am I close? You do have a genius mind, but also the form of a child. I imagine it's harder than usual to hide your agitation.
It's absolutely not. Now you're just trying to trick me?
This is so, like...
They're dancing, eh?
They're dancing, but it's so weird because we're also seeing the future where they're walking along together in the battle, you know? So...
I'd say, based on that log, Professors Takamiya and Morimura seem to know each other quite well.
Yeah.
Maybe you know something about that.
Of course not.
Then perhaps instead, Tsukasa Okino? Being compatible, that makes one part of his identity clear. He's one of the 15 from the year 2188. So, any theories? Who was he in the year 2188? Care to guess?
Stop it.
No? Then allow me to clarify. That boy, Tsukasa Okino, is Professor Chihiro Morimura's son. But not her child by personal conventional birth. The professor donated her egg cells as a young woman, in accordance with the policies on population control. No comment at this time?
Well, that would explain the smarts, I suppose.
Pre-linked. Are smarts
Their blood relation
hereditary?
wasn't exactly obvious.
Dude, if the person you're gonna fall in love with is hereditary and you know, Again, the rule of 13 Sentinels is Sono Chino Sarame. We've established this.
Until DNA testing on the clone revealed it. The professor was faced with the truth. He was her son. Which, naturally, sparked an inconvenient surge of maternal instinct.
Ah.
However, Okino himself didn't think highly of the professor. He had his disagreements with the project staff, too. When it seemed like her end was near, the professor recorded him one final message. One last chance for him to know the truth.
Stop! You saw that? But how? You'd need a biometric ID match to access that log. So you should only have been able to access your own. My logs and Okino's should have been locked off.
Thank you, Professor Morimura. Indeed, the files I could access were somewhat limited. Mostly company logs. Meeting reports, call transcripts, bureaucratic chaff. Barely anything in the way of your personal records.
Then, how do you know what was in my logs?
It's simple, really. That should do it for preparations. Now, let's see if the biometric authentication works. Did it go through? Looks like that got me past the initial barrier, at least. Now, with Miss Morimura's ID, I should be able to get into her logs.
Oh.
Maybe, if I check Miss Morimura's logs, I might find a clue why your biometric ID matches hers.
When the fuck was that?
It really is her ID.
Yori Fuyusaka?
Though unconscious, she proved very helpful. She is Chihiro Morimura, a compatible version. If you really are Miss Morimura, then you should already know who Iori Fuyusaka is. Because that would mean you hid her here in Sector 4. The plan was for the two newborns to grow up with their own separate lives. Ida-san's idea, presumably. Chihiro Morimura was planned to be placed in 2104, and Tetsuya Ida in 2024, yet neither could be found.
I knew Renya Gouto of Shikishima pretty well. You and he are very different. Except that you both make my life a lot harder. So, suppose I am the professor. Then what?
I want to know the truth. I want to know the reasons behind all of this. But that seems unlikely. I imagine you're not inclined to tell me anything.
And why's that?
It'd be inconvenient for you if we had all the facts. Considering you're trying to eliminate us. From the very beginning, You never intended for this world to survive.
Yep, let's keep going. Don't stop, don't stop. Chihiro Morimura, 2188. Upon testing the DNA of the 15 individuals for Project ARC, it became clear that Tsukasa Okino is Morimura's child. Though it wasn't through conventional birth, Morimura still feels a maternal connection to him. Renya Gouto. In order to view Miss Morimura's logs, Gouto used Yori Fusaka, who was unconscious from the shock of seeing a Sentinel in the 2065 ruins. He brought her to the UFO mainframe and used her biometric ID.
I'm sorry, did she faint back then? Was that a scene, I suppose? Yeah, alright. She happened, okay. Alright. I didn't remember that she fainted at some point, and I was very concerned about our boy Renya's deeds. The 2188 Professor Takamiya studies self-replicating probes.
Okay.
Upon testing the DNA of the 15 individuals, it's clear that Chihiro Morimura is Okino's mom. So, yeah.
The only thing I have about fainting is when she fainted in the science lab. And then Gouto brought her to the nurse's office.
Okay.
Did something happen in between?
Well, clearly...
Did he go from the science lab to that area and then to the nurse's office?
It says 2164. Excuse me, not 21. 2065. Yeah, it says... when she was unconscious from the shock of seeing a Sentinel in 2065.
Okay.
So that was the incident that led to her being usable in the UFO. So then comes the compatible. 15 survivors in the colony are the compatible ones. Yep, the last humans alive. The probe. Inside the probes are infrastructural storage cells called memory cubes, which allow the probe to compare itself to nearby probes and use them as a template for repairs. If a probe can't be repaired, then it dies, as a biological organism would, and the others move on. The probes that departed the Earth with the DNA data of the 15 individuals surveyed an extremely wide range, replicating themselves infinitely until they found a new planet humanity could inhabit. So that... Okay, there you go. That's the context that we have. So it's literally like, this is the core that will lead to the beginning of humanity once a planet is found. But the way that they surveyed that space and that amount of fucking, just the sheer vastness of area to cover is by making sure that, the nearby ones could still provide a frame of reference.
Yeah.
So no probe was ever too far away from the next one that it couldn't stay connected to it. And then they continue expanding outwards until they eventually find a planet worth terraforming and populating. Pretty smart methodology, providing you never run out of materials or energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, if we ever actually invent one of those impossible infinite energy sources, like perpetual motion or cold fusion,
Yeah.
or any of those, like, crazy, like, let's say, humanity limiters, like, being released, the technology we then go on to make needs to be very, very careful and smart, because... if you misuse infinite energy, that can lead to fucking infinite demise. And
Infinite Michael Bay.
Infinite mistakes can occur as long as you, if you didn't foresee what you needed to do. So you got to be very careful when you have access to that type of technology. Okay, so that's it for now. Get the fuck back in.
Oh! No, the game said no! The game said no. Oh, that is a cold shower. That is a cold shower. The game said no.
Fuck! God damn it! Ah! You bitch! You whore game, you! Fuck off!
Really?
Wave 5. And then you're not touchable until the hypocrisy event occurs.
I guess we're going to fight.
Time to fight!
Well then. It's been a while.
Yeah. It has.
This is rough.
It has.
Okay.
Oh my god, how dare you.
So Ogata and Kisaragi on the strike team.
Yes, sir.
Kisaragi is good. Ogata is
Not so
balled
good.
out.
He's balled out. So that there goes that.
Okay.
But hey, at least we're gonna get. We don't. There's not a ton of mysteries to spend mystery points on. Let's be real. Like we only have like 2 or 3 red things left.
Yeah, until they add
until
more
they add
things.
more.
And they're like, hey, you need more points for this.
Of course, until they add more. Of course.
Okay.
Okay.
Area number 3, wave 1. How are you going to go about this? How many chips do you have?
Okay, well, G-Molars, Drill Fly, so ground and flyers.
Oh no, we won't get hamburger.
Hamburger. I can do it after. I could do it. I could do it. Or we can fucking break our combo.
Nope.
And do a repair.
Nope.
Which is like yeah.
Not at this point.
A recovery after all this time. We're about to beat the game without ever dropping a combo.
Invasion ends here.
Why do it now?
I'm ready.
My turn.
I'll fight.
Okay.
Let's roll.
Let's go.
Does that seem good?
Punch. Sentries. Missile rain. Interceptors.
Yep, and you got some chips as well, probably. Just 63k, but it's still good enough for some enhancements.
We can do some enhancements.
Were there some Sentinels that you wanted to touch? I mean, some characters that were lacking. What was lacking before? Was it armor piercing capabilities for some of them?
I mean, look, there's always... These things are all places to spend cash, right? If you want to just make them better overall.
Yeah, I just remember seeing a lot of blue armored enemies, so maybe make sure that everybody can deal with them.
Armor piercing capabilities need to be on point. They generally are. We've buffed, but we can keep buffing everything that... Like, their best and strongest attacks we can keep buffing, certainly. So, you know, this Demolisher Blade is already killing things in a hit. It's doing its job. The EMP surrounding could definitely get buffed. Ceramic armor. Immune to attacks dealing 500 damage or less. Weak attacks don't even hurt you anymore. Counter. When attacked, immediately counterattack ground units near the sun. These sound fucking cool, dude. These sound cool.
Yeah, a counter is pretty good.
If we get rid of... well, we're using Limiter, we're using EMP, we're using Demolisher. Tackle can go. Leap attack we use, and rush attack can go. So if we replace rush attack... Well, that's the 0.
Rush attack is only 0. The leap leaps, which is pretty good.
Yeah. They all have their functions.
So tackle, I guess?
So here we go. Let's do this. And there's no upgrading it.
It is learned.
Immediately counterattacks ground kaiju. And then composite armor means you don't take damage. So let's put that. So then all you're going to do is leap when needed for your weakest attack, which is fine. It's only 50. Like, unless we hit 0 EP, you know? Then in which case this is fine. So that works. That's a good use of money for you. We're bringing in the fucking poster boy and poster girl over here. Let's see. We can keep bumping those things. Guardian Avenger is the decoy,
and it explodes
when destroyed.
Unlike the Guardian that just acts as a decoy but does not explode.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay, by replaying other missions, you can recover your BOL without breaking your streak. Well, that's okay. So, I mean, I don't want to replay a mission on camera right now, but good to know. Thank you. So, Guardian Avenger, and that's a 3,000 damage explosion. So that's not weak. That's not a weak thing. The distraction itself is not as big of a deal, but that could be interesting.
It's a cool name.
We're also missing, let's see here, his rockets that decrease movement speed. And then, yeah, the Guardian again. Okay. Does this need to be used in compatibility with this, or is this good on its own? We'll find out.
I guess it's good on its own.
Maybe. All right. So let's replace. Yeah, it's its own thing, and it can be enhanced. Let's replace the arm-mounted cannons. Or no, the heavy knuckles, because you're not going to punch anything, and if you do, you're going to fusion art cut it. So let's,
yeah.
So let's just do that. All right.
You gonna enhance that?
I can, but we don't have a ton of money for all the kids.
Fuyusaka-san.
You've got, yeah, those jammer. Launcher, Guardian, Repair Emitter. Okay, so yeah, that's all the passives. So she's pretty much got what she's got. In which case we can just buff her sentry guns. 8,000, so that's going to be expensive. Let's hold on for a second before we spend that cash. Let's go check out Tomy. Anything? Nope, just a super large missile. And missile range.
Everything is unlocked except for the hyper condenser, I guess.
2 consecutive railgun shots. Ah, interesting. We don't use railgun that often now that missile rain is a part of the picture. So this will just be... Okay, so yeah, she would just be upgrading as well. So let's come back to you.
Yuki-chan.
Ceramic armor. She can also get some defense from weak things, and she also gets access to counter.
Yeah.
That's pretty good, too. New abilities. Alright, so in that case, we will ditch... let's say Flare Torpedo.
Yeah, I barely remember what it looks like.
And then, let's say we replace interceptors, lasers, spike, multi-lock, arm-mounted. Yeah, we're replacing convergent. No, that's her armor piercing. Besides her leg spike. That's her distance armor piercing. Leg spike is still good too. Regular 0 lasers. That's fine. There you go. Great. And then Gouto comes in.
Still 32k left.
Gravity missiles.
Fires missiles into target area. Gravitic forces pull kaiju towards the impact
Ooh,
zone.
okay, sounds a little bit EMP-ish in its nature of like redirecting them.
Yeah.
And then defense, which
Shields on allies within a target area. Nullifying attacks from kaiju.
we've been winning by going on offense heavy, so let's keep that up for now.
Boom, boom.
Do I want to replace anything with this new ability? Let's see. Multi-lock we like. Hypercondenser is great. Like spike interceptors. Arm-mounted convergent. Yep. Don't tend to use those too often. Let's see what the missile looks like if we do. It's also his armor piercing, true. Alright. Basic attack goes away. Cool. And now we've got 26. So with that cash, let's go back to the ones who we were just looking at upgrading. And we can boost your sentry gun.
+8, maxed out.
8's the limit. I thought it would stop at 10. Interesting. I don't know why. I thought it would stop at 10. Missile rain.
You and your metric system.
Maxed out missile rain. Okay.
$3K left.
What was we're looking at that, the Guardian Avenger. Oh yeah, this. We can make this thing a little bit stronger.
Maybe also the plasma arc.
But I'm not going to use Plasma Arc with him that much.
Oh,
really.
okay. I thought it was a factor because you replaced the first normal attack, and you said that you were going to use the plasma arc fusion cutter.
No, I said if we need point blank action with him.
If and only.
This is the better solution than the regular cutters, but than the regular melee attack.
But you're not going to play that way.
Because he's a sentry gun boy.
Cool. Oh.
Alright, let's go.
Interested in seeing how that goes, that weapon. Here we go.
New area. 28th.